Imagine holding a single dollar bill in your hand. Light, fragile, almost meaningless on its own, yet powerful enough to influence the destiny of millions. What if I told you that behind this simple piece of paper lies the story of a nation? A story of hope, rebellion, ambition, and transformation. A story of people who risked everything to build a future, all beginning with the value of just $1. This is not merely a story about money. It is a story about power, sacrifice, and the rise and fall of dreams. This is the story of the $1 that changed a nation. Throughout history, money has shaped civilizations. From ancient empires to modern superpowers, currencies have determined the rise of kings, the fall of rulers, the birth of revolutions, and the survival of nations. But rarely does a single denomination, a humble $1 bill, hold the kind of symbolic weight that echoes across centuries. This documentary uncovers the journey of the dollar, where it came from, how it evolved, how it became a weapon of influence, and how it now controls global trade, governments, the daily lives of ordinary people, and the future of entire countries. Yet this isn't only the story of the American dollar. It is the story of how one unit of currency in any nation, at any time, can shape an entire society. Our journey begins in the late 1700s, a time of revolution, uncertainty, and ambition. The newly formed United States faced financial chaos. 13 colonies were united politically, but economically, they were broken. Each state printed its own money. Trade collapsed. Inflation skyrocketed. The outside world doubted the new nation would survive. Then came the idea that would change everything. A national currency, a single symbol, a unified dollar. It wasn't just money. It was a promise, a commitment to unity, a belief that a piece of paper could represent a shared future. That very first dollar wasn't backed by gold or silver. It was backed by trust. Trust in people, trust in progress, trust in the possibility of building something greater than themselves. As the United States expanded, so did the power of the dollar. But what made it powerful wasn't only economics, it was the story behind it. To merchants, the dollar symbolized opportunity. To immigrants, it represented freedom. To governments, it meant stability. And to nations around the world, it soon became a tool of influence. As global wars erupted, borders shifted, and alliances formed. The dollar became more than currency. It became a weapon, powerful enough to protect allies, punish enemies, fund revolutions, or rebuild nations. By the end of World War II, the dollar was no longer just America's currency. It had become the world's currency, the foundation of global trade, the anchor of the international financial system. A single dollar, once a symbol of national survival, was now the heartbeat of worldwide commerce. Today, we live in a world where one country's currency determines the price of another country's food, fuel, and future. The US dollar dominates almost every corner of global finance. Countries trade in dollars, store their wealth in dollars, borrow loans in dollars, and measure their success in dollars. Whether willingly or unwillingly, nations have tied their economic fate to a currency they cannot control. Some nations prospered because of it. Others struggled, but all play a role in a global system that revolves around the power of the dollar. Beyond politics and economics, the story becomes deeply personal. For a farmer in Africa, a single dollar can decide whether he plants his next crop. For a factory worker in Asia, a dollar can determine whether his family eats dinner that night. For a child in South America, $1 can be the difference between going to school or going to work. The rise or fall of a dollar's value affects people who have never even held one in their hands. The dollar has shaped lives, shaped dreams, and shaped entire societies. But with great power comes a darker side. As developing nations borrowed dollars to build roads, dams, and infrastructure, massive debts formed. Interest accumulated. Economies collapsed under the weight of their obligations. Corruption spread through governments. Black markets thrived. millions fell into poverty. For many, the dollar became a chain, a reminder that their country's survival depended not on their own choices, but on the decisions made in distant boardrooms and foreign capitals. Currency wars erupted. Financial sanctions crippled economies. Nations resisted. Others fell apart. The world learned that the true power of the dollar extended far beyond economics. It was a geopolitical force capable of shaping global destiny. Now, a new chapter begins. The dominance of traditional currency is challenged by digital transformation. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin question the authority of central banks. Governments experiment with digital national currencies. Artificial intelligence reshapes how we trade, invest, and transfer money. The world stands at the edge of a financial revolution. People ask, can digital currency replace the dollar? Some believe yes. Others believe the dollar's influence is too deeply rooted in global politics to fade. But one truth remains. The value and power of any currency, whether printed or digital, depends on trust. The same trust that created the first dollar in the 1700s is the trust that sustains global finance today. And so we return to the symbol with which we began, a single dollar. Simple, fragile, and small, yet capable of shaping nations. It has built economies, toppled governments, funded wars, fed millions, inspired innovation, and fueled corruption. But more importantly, it has shown humanity that money is never just paper. Money is a story, one that we continue to write each day. When we earn it, spend it, save it, fear it, or worship it, we give it power. The power to change lives. The power to build nations. The power to define the future. In the end, the story of the dollar is the story of us, our struggles, our ambitions, our failures, and our dreams. A single dollar changed a nation once and continues to shape the world today. The question now is, what will the next dollar do? Will it spark a new economic revolution? Will it build a new empire? Or will it collapse under the weight of the very system it created? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, as long as humans believe in value, as long as trust gives currency its strength, and as long as nations rise and fall on the power of money, a single dollar will always have the power to change everything.